Okay, so maybe we do this camera. Okay, so it let me do an intro properly. Hey, welcome to me actually going through my thoughts with the trailer and everything. And yeah, if you guys enjoy, like, subscribe, do what you want, or don't leave hate comments, do what you want. But yeah, Dragon Age, man, Dragon Age. This is my series, man. So it's one of them. So it's like let's let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. First off, Rook, not bad. Okay, not bad. I want to make a funny joke, but then I don't want people to take it like I'm being super serious, like right off the bat. I don't. I want to make a joke, but man, today's day and age, I don't even know what you can joke about. Which you can't really get canceled if no one. Like I said, this is a joke, but I'm kind of glad that they showed a black Rook. I just want to get that out the way. They're definitely doing it right. Here's to BLM, nah, but I'm glad that they're showing a black character. All jokes, by the way. I'm not actually trying to get political, but I had to start off with that. There's been so much things with the game being like, I don't know, just all the stuff you're hearing about modern gaming. You got extremists on both sides, and I want to say, let's keep it purely game, purely the story, purely all of that right now. Let's get that out the way. I'm gonna talk based on games and not necessarily the history, because the lore with the games is not too fresh in my mind just because of so much media I deal with. Like, I just played Black Mesa, I'm doing the YouTube Iceberg, so not everything is completely fresh. But let's just start with look. The game looks like a next gen version of the last game. I cannot lie. It looks like a next gen version of the last game, and it looks good. Again, with these little gameplay reveals that they get ready, there was a thing in the beginning that said, the following footage was captured in development. So like, it's gonna be spruced up, and kind of like how they do, like, it's like it's makeup. It's like, this is like the makeup. It's done up to be a showcase. So I don't know how tough enemies are going to be, how it's going to look. But honestly, for this being on YouTube and with YouTube's compression and everything, it looks like some solid footage. They made sure this was going to look good. Graphically and everything looks better than Dragon Age Inquisition. But me, again, graphics don't really matter to me in game. I mean, a solo player game, I yes, but because I'm mostly like, back in the days, I was like FPS, kind of making certain claims that I'm kind of like, man, maybe I go back. But so graphically, it looks good. It looks like a game that you would expect to come out. One thing I will say about the graphics, though, and I'm glad that they didn't do this, but they slightly got close, was for some reason all these next gen games to me, and especially Dragon's Dogma, but I heard Dragon's Dogma 2 was a good game. But it was mixed too, is the blurriness. Why do the graphics nowadays that are coming out that are supposed to be next gen look blurry? Facial animations and everything. Even with this, it looks smooth. Like, it looks like done well, but there's this blurriness to the graphics. Like, it's odd. It's like, I don't know. I think someone used the word before, hyper realism, or this sort of realism. I'm good with games having a more stylized look than it trying to match real life. Like, we're getting realistic. And even this, it still does look like they're in a game, but you can tell that there's a tad bit of more like realism like applied to it that I'm not sure I like. I almost like the way Dragon Age Inquisition looks, some like slightly than this, but it does look higher def. You know what I'm saying? So not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. All good. It does look like it's next gen. It's just there's always this, and honestly, they didn't do too bad for like not going as hard as Dragon's Dogma, because to me, Dragon's Dogma 2 looks so blurry and hyper realistic, but also like it's like the graphics look fuzzy in a way, but it like is also high def. I hope that makes sense. I hope someone gets what I'm saying. I've noticed this about a lot of games that are doing these looks to characters. I mean, hey, it's a video game. Stylize it, make it look cool. It doesn't have to, like, we don't have to not be able to distinguish it from reality. That's just my whole take. But looks good nonetheless. Now, Darkspawn. I have to point it out. It has taken more of an arcadey approach. So I'm not too up to date with the terms. I never really knew the terms high fantasy and low fantasy, but in my last video where I watched this, I was like, it kind of reminds me of Hogwarts, like the video game, but that game is probably more high fantasy than the actual films. Because I looked up Harry Potter and I was like, what fantasy is it? And that's classified as low fantasy. And I'm surprised that Harry Potter is classified as low fantasy, and then this new Dragon Age is not like the old ones, which would be more towards dark fantasy. You can't even classify this as low fantasy unless that was someone's random blog that popped up. I don't know. I think maybe it took the best search option, and what's her name? I don't know. I forgot who wrote the story. She classified it, like literally said it's low fantasy. But yeah, if Harry Potter is low fantasy and that's like kind of a safe series to show your kids, then Dragon Age has gone off the deep end. This is no longer dark. Doesn't, like, I was expecting with Dreadwolf it to be sick, man. I seen Dreadwolf, Solas at the forefront, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be dark. He's gonna twist the world because he's like, you know, God of Lies, all this or whatever, known as like Fenrel, which is like, you know, the play on Fenrir or whatever. I think I called him Fenrir in the other videos. And I'm like, okay, he's going to be a trickster god. Like, let's get this going. But then it still feels arcadey now. It doesn't feel like like, okay, yeah, the way the tone and the colors and how it's like vibrant in a way and how it looks doesn't personally make the feelings in me make it feel like there's actually this tense world-ending threat going on. It does not feel like that, if I'm being honest. Just to get it out of the way, it does not feel like this world-ending threat is upon us. It feels more like I'm watching Marvel, which even Marvel, it sometimes can be darker than this, but I guess the Marvel like on Netflix, like Luke Cage and Daredevil and Punisher, but you would kind of expect like a game like Dragon Age series to stay a little bit like that. But nah, man, now this feels like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like even the name, Dragon Age the Veilguard, like it's like Dragon Age Guardians of the Galaxy or Guardians of the Veil. Like it's literally that, Dragon Age Guardians of the Veil. It doesn't feel like, even the purple hue and purplish colors kind of remind me of like this Guardians of the Galaxy take on the game. Now that's not necessarily bad. The story and everything could be really good and written well, and from like my reaction, the voice acting and everything seems good. The choices, the character doesn't seem like cringe in some of the responses. We'll see. Like everything they showed here seemed pretty solid, so I'm not disappointed. Again, that's a really big point for me though. I thought Solus was gonna come in and I'm glad, I guess, subvert expectations. I guess I got bamboozled. I thought Solus was gonna come in and really twist the world, and even Varric said it. He said by unleashing demons, like people dying and shit, like that's the length you're going. But then it doesn't feel like he's really killing people. It doesn't feel like he's killing people. Now also, sorry, I took a break really quick. To the freshest game in my mind is Dragon Age Inquisition. I actually plan to go back and play it. I don't necessarily know, right? I just don't necessarily know the serious tone. I think that's what I left on. With how the game looks, it doesn't feel like there's a serious threat. It feels like it's more like, even from the trailer where the girl kind of busted out and it was the the veil behind her, and it was like Guardians of the Galaxy-ish, comedy-ish, lighthearted. And maybe that's not bad for the game. Who knows? But as like a fan of the series and beforehand, I like a little bit more of the serious fantasy. It feels closer to home, like your heroic actions, I feel like feel more justified and better, in your choices more serious in the game when there's literally a serious tone. Feels like you're actually moving the world. Like when I played Dragon Age Inquisition, it felt like I was actually moving the world. And I forgot, I think the one before it was the Dragon Age 2 or Dragon Age Origin. I don't know which one I played before that, but it just felt more serious. Like there was this one from the other Dragon Ages, the older ones, where you were escaping this castle at one point, and you were like, you could choose like what you were. I think it was like royalty. I forgot what the elf line was, but it felt like you were really escaping that castle, like fighting like I don't remember what it was, so I shouldn't reference it here, but this still doesn't feel like it. It feels more like
that's where your man is hiding.
This is your band of like Guardians of the Galaxy, bro. Like right here, see, this is where this hit me, like. And actually, and I'm going to talk about gameplay and design and everything, because I have a lot of good to say about the environment of everything, but I want to get just this stuff that I don't think hits for me or lands for me out of the way. And then we'll it's okay. So it's right here.
You three just keep.
So the tone right here, when Varric goes like, I'm going to go talk to Solus because I traveled with him and we were buddies, we adventured together, does not feel like there's any actual threat. Does that make sense? It doesn't feel like a threat. And it sucks that actually, since the two little profile blips popped up here, the character profiles popped up, it sucks. The old Dragon Age Inquisition design of the character cards and everything were so beautiful, bro. They were like sick ass tarot cards. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure if this is hitting.
My friend Brooke, I gotta try to reach him. But if he won't listen,
yeah, like, you know, I don't know. When he went up here and Solus was like blasted him with the eyes. Like, let's look at this really quickly. When he pulled up his bow, right here.
please.
Right here. Like, I was like, imagine, just show me some death. Show me that's a crazy statement, but show me something serious. It's like, it didn't even feel like Solus was going to hurt him, bro. But like right there, I had my hopes up for it. I was like, oh, is Solus actually crazy? Is Solus gonna, but also knowing Solus's character and like the deity he is and being an ancient elf and he wants to bring back a world, but you know, he knows there's going to be casualties, the whole deity thing. He's like, people die. But I was like, no, like that could have been a crazy moment if he actually zapped Varric. Then I was like, oh, maybe we get some tension. Maybe he's going to feel like his friend is lost. But then it was like, nah. But I was like, meh. And that's unfortunate. I was expecting Solus to come and, you know, come in and give us some tension right here. It doesn't. What was he gonna do? You really thought Solus was gonna? And the voice lines and everything aren't bad, so the dialogue isn't too bad.
The whole thing will come down on.
But the tone, like, it doesn't feel like they're actually facing a serious threat. I'm so serious, and maybe it's because of Solus. Like maybe whatever they open at the end here, I'll show you for this video, right here. Where it says, I thought this was gonna be serious too. Good voice acting. No, and then he blasts that. This was crazy to me. Ooh. I was like, damn. My man got folded. But then right here, like, he's staring, like, yeah. He looks worried. So, yeah, something got released. Which probably because Solus, what I remember is Solus sealed the other gods. So, like, maybe they are getting released now. I don't know. His hold on whatever is getting released. Not entirely sure. But still, it doesn't feel like a serious tone. Like he looks worried, but I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy are gonna come in and stop everything, so it doesn't really. Like, man, I want to feel some tension, and I think the best way to explain it is it reminded me 100% of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That's what it. This is now Dragon Age Wonderlands. But now I'll praise the game and let you guys get out of here. I think genuinely the story will not be that bad. But if they were going for a serious tone, like, unless they've released some things, because I don't keep up with the devs, I guess, like, there's other content creators for that. I just, go off of what I see and some of the things I hear and then go look into it for myself if I want to get deeper. So I don't know anything that was announced about the story. But what I can tell you right now is if they were going for a story to be taken serious, like, there's this threat of the universe right now, and the Veil and the Maker and Solus, it does not hit with this art style. It doesn't hit. And it's crazy because literally it's like the voice acting and everything, at least to me, in my opinion, is so solid that if the game did, I guess Meeting Neve was a little bit but if the game had a darker color scheme and it was actually some blood and stuff in here and not this Overwatch safe shit, this shit would, I feel like, be game of the year instantly off of watching it. I think it may still get game of the year. That's why I said it like that. Maybe nominated. Let's, hope. But when people were saying all the Baldur's Gate fans, I seen like something on Twitter when I made a post, all the Baldur's Gate fans are going to be coming over here. Yes, but to the Baldur's Gate fans that liked Orin and shit like that, and the darker tones, and just some kids just getting murked in that, it does not look like you're gonna find that here. But again, remember, it's too early to say because they were just showing us the gameplay very early. There could be some dark, I don't know, slavery themes and shit going on and racism and stuff in here. At least I would hope, because I mean, wasn't there in the other one about the people, the Quasi? I don't know. I can't remember everything from the other games. But but I remember, actually, I remember in Dragon Age and the other one, there's racism towards elves, I think. Or I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember. This is racism towards someone. But, like, I'm going to say based on what they're showing and what has been shown so far, it doesn't feel like serious themes are going to be handled. Like, I don't know. And to me, the threat of the universe is a pretty big theme that done under the right... It's like this. It's like you bake a really good cake. Like, the gameplay, the action, the fighting scenes, and everything is like the really nice baked foundation of the cake. Then what they dressed the cake up with, the makeup, doesn't fit what the foundation of the game is. So literally, you think about the other Dragon Ages. It's like this dark fantasy world, invasions, demons, and all this shit. And then you slap a fucking kid's birthday party on top of it. And it's like, what the fuck? So that... I'm not sure, man. We'll see. Action looks good. Skills look good. Fighting the enemies doesn't look too bad. Again, can't really tell what the enemies are going to be like at this point of the game, because when they dress up the games like this, they do like make the combat encounters, I think, slightly faster, so you're not just sitting here waiting for them to, rip through enemies and take too long. I remember in Dragon Age Inquisition, it felt a little bit slow. But I mean, you got powerful. But, I think they're going through this just for the purposes of the trailer. But maybe enemies are like this. Yeah, level 1. Doing, So, we'll see. But the animations are cool. I feel like I remember from Dragon Age Inquisition, you could command like your teammates to team attack something. So I wonder if that's still there. Maybe we're seeing it down here. I don't actually know. No, this is the character's bow. So maybe you just have your party with you now, and they just do their own thing. They just fight. You can't switch between them, which I'm just saying maybe not, but maybe you can. So maybe I'm like tripping. Hopefully that's still a thing. She also looks like a face scan. She looks like an actor that's familiar. I don't know who, but I don't know. we'll see. I don't think it's too bad off of seeing this. I like the voice acting. I really do.
And a lot of demons. Haven't seen this many come through the Fade in years.
Yeah,
What about you two? Are you okay?
The facial expressions are more intense. Kind of like the Starfield thing. Like they're either intense or have blank emotions. With this, it's just there is no like blank emotions, it's straight just intense.
We're good, but we need to move.
Yeah, there's something slightly off, but again, that's early. It's early
Reed,
footage.
Solus isn't waiting, neither can we.
Yeah, it looks slightly like desynced.
Have you got my gear?
Right there, like you seen, I just paused right before he
Neither
started
can we.
speaking, but it's right there.
You got my gear?
So slightly, some stuff is slightly desynced, not too big of a deal, but
Right over there.
yeah,
Where's Nev Gallus? Wasn't she at the meeting point?
The Venatori.
And then this too. You see the beginning really quickly? Where he stands.
That
Right here, Rook, level 1 backstory, Shadow Dragons, appearance custom. So I wonder if you change the backstory, are they going to interact with your character different? Because it goes on to say, which I thought was pretty cool, that Neve, which is the ice mage that I was just on, worked in the Shadow Dragons, and she was like to the character, "Oh, no coincidence," like or isn't that coincidence? I said no coincidence, but that's coincidence. Like, blah blah blah. But I'm saying, so it's cool. They'll interact with your character different for a different selected backstory, or is everyone going to be from the Shadow Dragon? So it probably not, right? So we'll see. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It actually made me a bit happier than what I seen with the other trailer. So I guess we'll just see. Let me know what you think down below. I don't think this looks like a bad game at all. I don't think the narrative change, or like if there's narrative changes and the rebranding of the name or anything, was inherently bad. I don't think it is at all. I think they just made a choice. They ran with it. Hey, it's up to them. But when it comes to sticking to old material, like I said, I don't like that aspect of it. I don't like that they went from a darker themed fantasy to now it seemed like, because in Dragon Age Inquisition, I felt like I was saving the world. There was a real threat of the demons, even like the fights, dragon fights and that and everything. It felt more serious. In this, yeah, I just feel like it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It feels less serious, but let me know what you think down below. I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's just a different game now, essentially. Yeah. But much love, Moonlight. Let me know what y'all think down below. We'll see. Got to get your hands on it.